You know what? This could have been a big surprise of an episode, and I'll admit I kinda let myself think it could have been, so that's on me. I said previously that they were probably preparing an episode for the cargo decks in the background, and this being the finale of the whole season of Inside Star Citizen, this could have been a good chance for them to surprise us with a little something, but I didn't really expect much, so I'll be okay. And hey man, can you just stop setting expectations so high and read what's actually going into the update? Well, yeah man, but I wanted some gameplay. I want gameplay, man. I set my own expectations, and I was, oh, man, okay. It would have been cool though. Let's talk about it. Thank you for coming to my tomato talk. And as for you, my friend, so Morphologist was right. I had hoped he wasn't. I bet he had hoped he wasn't, but he was. As was listed on the roadmap, and this is important, the cargo decks were purely a location. Not gameplay, not core tech, a location. So as CIG is showing us this location, it's important to note that there's no gameplay involved, as much as we'd hoped there would be. That's not to say this location isn't sweet, though. The atmosphere of the areas, the audio of the areas, and the implications of the areas are enough to have me thinking about what we could get in terms of gameplay here in the future. Now, I know, that's classic Star Citizen, right? But I got a good feeling about this one. And one thing I do want to question you guys on is, do you think those statements that are cast over the PA systems will actually have any context in the future, or will they just be rotating the same 5 to 10 statements over and over again? Let me know in the comments below. I also really like the sense of verticality I got in some of these shots. I think these are the largest interior spaces we've seen so far, besides maybe some hangars. This shot in particular reminded me a lot of one of my favorite shots in all of Star Citizen's development that I'm showing you here. While we didn't really see how the internal cargo areas connect to the ship hangars and pads, I'm interested in knowing how the cargo is planned to be transported to the ship. Will it be shown in the interior of the station in transit, or will it just come out of some random door in your hangar, which is more likely? These are the important questions moving forward after finally seeing this location. How have they built the location to accommodate the planned gameplay? This is something I wish they could have talked about in the episode. We know players will need to handle trolleys and boxes to transport materials to and from their ships, but how has the cargo deck been made to handle these requirements? Overall, this feels like another step in Star Citizen's focus on careers. Actually kind of where it all started, of course aside from combat. The first step was box transportation back in the day, but then mining kind of took over, and now we're seeing a shift in focus back to cargo hauling. And soon, these two will be joined by refining, salvage, repair, refuel, exploration, and more. But these locations, while not all that exciting, are the first step in making each career a fully fledged game within a game. And at this point, I expect to start hearing about actual cargo gameplay in the monthly reports, or maybe, just maybe, on the roadmap in the next few patches. Now, if you haven't noticed, throughout all of our previews of the cargo decks, we've seen branding on the cargo. Very clear implications that as you transport supplies to and from various locations, you will be doing it under contract of either the buyer or the seller. And depending on who that is, you will see an increase in your reputation with that company, or a loss with others. As we know, the reputation system has begun to see the proper implementation into the game we've been waiting for, most likely in the next few updates. With the reputation system, you will work your way up to bigger and better jobs within a company, but You will also experience lower fees, better prices, and possibly even a higher understanding with the local law enforcement. I've talked briefly about reputation in the past and plan on going into further detail in the future, but this is an important development that might not be focused on as much as it deserves. But stay tuned, as you'll probably see it pop up more and more in my future videos. Also briefly mentioned in this episode is the opportunity for CIG to start looking at how guilds can become functioning entities alongside reputations and career paths. We are slowly moving from the location and visual-based development that we've seen so regularly for the last few years into a more functional and system-based phase of the game that I'm very excited to see. With things like the flight model, cargo hauling, material refining, and UI all seeing increased attention, this could be an early sign of that shift in development. Make sure to keep it locked to Space Tomato if you want to see if that shift rings true over the next year or two. I didn't mean to rhyme there, but you know, sometimes it just happens. Now I'm getting away from the point of this video a bit and could ramble about this for hours, so let's rein it in. The rest of the episode was mainly a focus on what we'll be seeing in the game in 3.11. Something I'll bring you guys in my patch review in the next month or so, which I have a special plan for. Because of this though, I'm gonna skip that section for today and wrap things up here. I'd like to thank you for checking me out here for your Star Citizen news and content, and encourage you to maybe subscribe to get more high-quality Star Citizen cinematics, gameplay, news, and coverage. But don't think it stops there. No. I also cover games like Cyberpunk 2077 and other sci-fi games, so if you find yourself interested in the genre in general, you might like it here. If you'd like to go deeper, you can also join my Discord community and check me out on Twitch, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Both of where you can win money and ships and smiles. Though I will be streaming on Saturday this week as I've moved my stream one day late. Speaking of giveaways, I'm giving away a Pisces starter ship to one lucky viewer at the end of this month, so make sure to check out the details in the video description, comment, subscribe, and maybe find yourself the owner of a new ship. Also, consider checking me out on Patreon maybe. The people over there get some pretty nice perks, and every single dollar that they give me allows me to get closer to that goal of doing this for a living. The link is in the video description, and I'd very much appreciate it. And with that, I'd like to thank you for tuning in once again, and I hope to see you next week. A big shout out to my top supporters, the Alpaca, the Huntress, TK, and Patrick Burt.